Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Charlie and I make handmade polymer clay earrings and accessories for my business called Charrings. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I made my small business with absolutely no experience into a six-figure business. I have no employees and I started with absolutely zero experience. I had no idea what I was doing. So I'm going to go through some of the things that got me to the position that I'm in now and go through some things that hopefully will help you with your small business. When you start your small business, you're kind of in the deep end wondering how you get sales, how you get returning customers, what you can do to kind of draw people into your website and your business. And today I'm going to be just talking about some of the things that have helped me and some things that I never hear anybody talk about. One of them, which most small businesses that I know don't do this, and I don't know why they don't do it. I think people make it out to be much more complicated than it is, and it's selling worldwide. This is never spoken about. I don't know why nobody talks about it, nobody advises anyone on doing it, and nobody seems to do it. I know a few small businesses that do, but very limited. Most businesses that I know sell in the US and only the US, or only in the UK, and I don't know why they don't branch out, because imagine your products all around the world. Shipping obviously is probably one that puts people off. They don't know how to go about it. They don't want to charge people lots of money. But at the end of the day, if someone wants to buy something and it's £11 shipping, that's up to them. I've bought many things, mainly cutters for my clay earrings. I buy them from the US because they are better than the ones in the UK. And shipping is always £11 to like £16, but I pay it because I know I'm not gonna be able to get that anywhere else. And if you're a business that prides yourself on having unique items or something that you think would be appreciated worldwide, definitely sell worldwide. If you're shipping through Royal Mail, which is where I ship from, you can just select US when you're printing out a label and it will literally tell you the prices of everything. So if you want to set up your website and you're not sure how much things cost, go on the Royal Mail website and put in details and you will find out the cost of everything. And you'd be surprised how low you can get that shipping as well. So for me, I have a few different shipping options. For the UK, I only do tracked, because I've had many issues in the past where people try and take advantage. My products are handmade and they take a long time to make. And to be honest, they're pretty affordable for what they are. So when people take advantage and they receive their item and they say they don't because they know it's not tracked, they know no one took a picture, I'm then sending them another one for free. So they can then gift that on, or they've got another one. And it was getting a little bit ridiculous at one point where I had to change it. So I was offering second and first class shipping. Now I only offer tracked 48, which is like my standard delivery. So it takes 48 hours to get there and it's tracked. So they take a picture of it and I can track it from where I am. But the customer also gets a text and email of tracking of where it is at all times. So if they come to me now and say, my order's not arrived, I can look on there and see that it has arrived, or if it hasn't, I can then go through Royal Mail and I'm also covered so I can see where that parcel is. If it's got lost, I can get money back from Royal Mail and claim it through them. And then you can give the customer their money back or send them a replacement, whatever you agree. And I have an express option, which is track 24. So it takes 24 hours and it's tracked. So same again. I don't even give the option in the UK for not tracked anymore. And then for worldwide, I do give the option for not tracked because it makes it more affordable for them. So the cheapest they can get worldwide, apart from the US, is £4.50, which I think is extremely affordable for worldwide shipping. And I've never seen anyone charge that little before. However, I have a policy on my website to state in red capitals that if your order does not arrive and you've used that shipping, I cannot replace it, because that is your risk. If you want to pay the cheapest shipping, you are doing it at a risk, because I can't track it, which means I can't now send you a replacement and pay that extra shipping to then track it to make sure you're getting it. And then I'm out of pocket. So that is an option on my website. And then you can also pay, I think it's £11.50 for tracked to like the US or anywhere else worldwide. Some countries vary, some are a little cheaper, some are a little more expensive, but on the most part, that's kind of what the average is. People are happy to pay it. I would say at the moment, my website is 70-30 UK and then worldwide. I have a lot of US customers. So I would say 1 in 5 customers are US. It's definitely worth it because you're branching yourself out to more people, and people in the US seem to be happier to pay more for your products than the people in the UK. I don't know if we're just stingy here, or America's got loads more money or what, or they just appreciate handmade a little more. I don't know. They definitely do pay the bigger shipping, and they buy the more expensive earrings or place the bigger orders. So you're missing out if you're not doing worldwide shipping. Now, I've just spoke a lot on that. I've not spoke about it on YouTube before, and I just want you to know that it's not as scary as you think. Why limit yourself to just one country when you can go and sell worldwide? Something I do with every single order is once someone has placed an order with me, I have a thank you card that goes in the order, and it's got a 15% off discount code. Now, you can only use that if you've ordered from me before. It's specifically for that thank you card only, and it gives people an incentive to come back. When I see a discount, I can't turn down a discount code. So if I've got a discount, I am going to be using it. Not everybody's like that. Someone might see it and just throw it away. But there might be someone that picks that up, saves it for another day when they want a next order and they get a discount. It's a small loss for you. Maybe you'll lose a little bit of money out on your order, but it means that you've got a returning customer and they like your products enough to come back again. For me, I think if you've got a customer there, why not give them something to say thank you at the same time? It's a benefit for them and a benefit for you because they're coming back, they're spending more money on your website, but also you're giving back to them because they don't have to spend as much and they have something that a new customer wouldn't have. Another way of giving people discounts is automatic discounts. So on your website, or if you have a shop on Etsy, you can set up an automatic discount. So for example, if someone places something in their cart and then they go off the website, I could set up an email so that 30 minutes after they get an email through to say, "You sure you don't want the item?" sort of thing. And it's like an automatic thing where they've now said, well, you can get 15% off if you want to go back and grab it. You don't have to set these automatic discounts up, but you can, and it is a way of possibly notifying someone like, did you forget? Because maybe they were busy and they clicked off it and then it's just completely gone out of their head. But if you send them a little email reminder, they might think, oh yeah, I was meant to do that, and then they'll come and order. The same for a light box on your website, so you can get something that pops up when someone clicks on your website for the first time. They can either close it down or they can put in their email. When they put in their email, they have joined your email marketing list, which is another great avenue to go down. For me, I've not seen the most sales from it, but it completely depends. If I'm doing like a sale, then sometimes more people click on it and it transfers more into a sale, but sometimes people click on it and don't use it. For me, I would usually send emails if I'm doing a launch or if I'm doing a sale. I don't spam my customers. I don't want spam emails, and neither do you. Nobody wants that, and that's going to make people unsubscribe. But about once a month, I'll send out an email with either a new collection, a little update from the shop, some sort of discount that I'm offering just to give people an incentive to come and buy something. And it's just a way of reminding your customers that you're here still. Like, I'm still here, my shop's still open, I'm still offering products, and then they might check it out again and be like, oh, what's new? And have a little look through. I know email marketing works really great for some businesses and some businesses not as much, but I think if you can really build up an email marketing list, then it's great for in the future if you ever want to send out an email about anything. So for me, I pay like a monthly package to keep my website up and running, but I pay an extra package for marketing. So I have over 5,000 people on my email marketing list, so I have to pay an extra tier to be able to send out at least 5,000 emails a month. But if you want to send more, you can pay for a bigger package and things like that. Unfortunately, this isn't an option on Etsy or any other marketplace from my experience and from my knowledge. I don't think you can do that. I think you can only sort of do that on a website, or you can use an external website where you can input all the emails and do it that way. Now, I was watching a few different small businesses the other day, and a lot of people were given advice to save money on packaging. And I feel like I'm one of the only small businesses that I know that puts a lot of time and money and effort into their packaging. And I don't know why. I see so many businesses that just use brown boxes, no sort of tissue paper or anything, just kind of shove it in and go. And I kind of understand that from a business point of view. It's probably smarter from a business point of view to not put that like sort of money into it and put that money into something more useful. But for me, feel like I want to give people an experience. It's not all about the money for me. I always have seasonal packaging. I always try and give some sort of freebie, whether it's a sticker or a sweet. Some people say that's a bit tacky, and I can kind of see where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, I'm just giving you something for free. You can take it or leave it. But I pay a little bit extra for pink boxes because it matches my branding, and I think if I had enough money, I would definitely get my own custom Charrings boxes. Unfortunately, that is not in my budget right now, but I do pay a little bit extra to get pink boxes rather than brown or white because I think it matches my brand better. But also when customers get it through the door, they know it's from me because not many people have pink boxes. And when there's a different season, so for example, if it's Valentine's Day, I'll have heart packaging and I get some heart confetti, and maybe you'll get some love heart sweets in your orders, things like that. And then if it's like Christmas, it will all be Christmas themed. I'll have a little bow on it and make it very Christmassy. And it kind of feels like you've received a gift from yourself in a way. And I think that kind of brings people back to you as well, and it will make people want to shop again because it's a enjoyable experience opening it. When you order something from Amazon, it's not exactly exciting because you just open a box, you can't even peel the tape off properly, and you open the box and it's just your item and that's it, and you just throw the box away. But when you've got more of an experience, it just makes it a bit exciting, makes you excited to receive your order when you know that something fun is coming. You don't know what packaging you're gonna get or what's gonna be in there, and I just think it's fun. I even change up my earring back cards so that the card that the earrings are on kind of matches the theme of either the earrings or the holiday that's coming up, something like that, just to keep it exciting. One thing that I always do is set myself deadlines or goals. Every year, I've actually done it for the past 2 years on my channel, filming it, but I've always done it since the beginning of my business, is make yearly goals. So by the end of the year, I want to hit this many subscribers, this many followers on social media, this many orders. I want my items to be in this shop. Goals to give yourself something to work towards. I feel like it makes you way more motivated when you're coming up to the end of the year and you wanted 10K subscribers, but you've got 9K. You get that extra push, that extra motivation to do more, to push yourself out of your comfort zone and to get yourself more into the business to try and make that happen so you can hit your goal. The same with deadlines as well. When I did monthly launches, I would always announce the launch date before I even started the launch, which was so stressful, I'm not gonna lie, but it made me work really hard to get to that goal. I knew I couldn't launch it anytime after that because I've told people this is the day. So then I'd have to work towards that day and make sure that I've set myself that goal, because if I don't, I might launch that collection in 2 months' time because I've just took my time with it and kind of not pushed myself and gave myself more time off. Whereas if you just push yourself and get yourself really into the business, you're gonna see more of an outcome. And I think any sort of target goal, it's just always good to work towards. A really big thing is just don't get disheartened when you don't get sales or it's not doing well, because my business has not always been up. It's been very up and down. It's been all over the place. Some months I've literally made like no sales, no money, been stressing, thinking I'm gonna have to go get another job now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know how many times I've been through that situation where I'm like, I'm gonna have to get a job, this business isn't working anymore. But then I think about how much I will hate working for someone else after working for myself, and I just get myself out of it every single time. I just put in the most work, try any other avenue, anything else to make sure that I don't need to do that. So whether that's going on TikTok live every day, trying to find new people to buy my stuff or see my website, whether that's posting content every single day just to push myself even more, anything like that always boosts your business more, and it always works for me every single time. When I've had a lower time, the more work I'm putting in, the more motivation, the more I'm pushing it, the more it does actually perform better. And 5 years later, I haven't had to get a job yet. I'm in one of them dips right now where I'm now pushing out more YouTube content because I want to go more in the YouTube avenue, because it's something that I really enjoy. I don't want to get rid of my business, but making earrings takes a lot more time than making a YouTube video. The whole process of creating earrings from scratch, packing orders, going and sending out parcels. I've got a baby now and I don't have the time to constantly be doing that all day, every day like I used to. So at the moment, I'm trying to focus more on YouTube because I know that that's an avenue where I am monetized on here, so I do get paid for my views. I've got no sort of time pressure of getting that order out today. I can edit that video in my own time and I can keep revisiting it better than if I was making earrings, because sometimes you can't revisit making earrings. Like if I'm in the middle of crafting something, I need to finish it there and then. And when you've got a crying baby, you don't you have to constantly go away. So for me to be able to keep my business running and keep money coming through to pay my bills, I'm now focusing more on YouTube, because at the moment, that's what's going to be best for me. And it doesn't mean that that's going to always be the case. Once she goes to nursery and school, I'll have loads more time then to get back into making stuff, and then maybe I'll go back to monthly launches and things. But for now, my main focus is YouTube at the moment, because I really enjoy it and I'm finding it easier to have her on me and edit videos, things like that. It's just easier for me right now. The last thing I'm going to kind of touch on is just criticism, because that can really tear you down. It can stop you running your business, but you're gonna get criticized. You are, no matter what, and it's horrible. But some people just won't like your earrings. You know, there are girls out there that are clean girl aesthetic. That's not me. They would look at this and think, what on earth? Neon lights everywhere, color everywhere, too much. They like the white basic. For me, no, that's not for me. You can't please everyone, but you're also not here to please everyone. Some people won't like your stuff, some people won't like your videos, and that just is what it is. I mean, I'm still learning this, because when you make handmade items, when someone criticizes it, oh, it hurts deeper. It hurts deep, because you've just spent a lot of time creating that. But I have got to a stage where I'm like, okay, well, it's not for you, so you don't need to worry about it, you know? I had a comment on one of my YouTube videos the other day, and it's 11 minutes long. I'm gonna now moan about it. Like, criticism's unavoidable, but I'm about to moan about some criticism that I just had. But it's 11-minute video telling you how to start up a small business, packed full of free information, and they just put blah, 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 get to the point. Like, obviously I'm just laughing about it, because I think, how stupid is that? You're getting free advice, but also, if you haven't got the attention span to watch an 11-minute video packed full of information that can be useful for you, I don't think you're going to get very far in running a business, to be honest. So that's the type of thing where I just look at that and laugh, and you can kind of make fun of it rather than taking offense to it and just be like, okay, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. And if people don't like your items, that's not for you then. I didn't make them for you. I made them for my regular people that love them, or new people that are going to find me and think, this is what I've been looking for all this time. So if you've got a small business, good luck. You're doing great. Just keep going. Try some new things. It's always good to switch it up and try some new things. Don't just keep stagnant in like one even pace. If you want to grow your business and you want to get to that next step, try some of these things. You might have tried them all. If you have, check out some of my other YouTube videos, because I'm giving loads of tips. I've got a whole playlist just on small business tips. Make sure you subscribe, like, press the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. I do upload every Tuesday and Friday now at 7 p.m. Sometimes I might miss a day, but usually never miss a Friday. So there's always 1 or 2 videos a week at 7 p.m. and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Bye!